Jubilation among Palestinians in the streets of Gaza, as an agreement is reached for a ceasefire between Hamas and Israel. War has been raging here for 15 months, with Israel relentlessly bombing the enclave of 2 million people. The assault in response to Hamas's October 7th attack on the country, which left 1,200 dead. Now more than 46,000 people have lost their lives here, and after months of negotiations, an end to the bloodshed is finally in sight.
كل ساعة بنقول ندعي الله وتوقف الحرب، احنا يا جماعة بدنا نريح، بدنا نعيش بأمان ونشكر الله ونحمده، إلا في هذه الساعة سمعنا خبر كويس الحمد لله.
والله طرت من الفرحة، فرحان بس برضه في نفس الوقت زعلان إنه الواحد يرجع على بيته فاقد أحفاد، فاقد أبو، فاقد أخو، فاقد ابن عم، فاقد جيران، فاقد داره. ليش بدنا نقول؟ الحمد لله.
Mediated by Qatar and the US, the truce was reached in Doha and is set to begin in 3 days on the 19th of January, as long as it's approved by the Israeli cabinet. The initial 6-week phase will include the withdrawal of Israeli forces from central Gaza and the return of displaced Palestinians to the northern part of the Strip. Hamas will release 33 of the nearly 100 hostages still in their custody, including women, children and elderly. In return, Israel will release 30 Palestinian detainees per hostage. Of the 251 people taken from Israel by Hamas on October 7th, 105 were released during a temporary ceasefire in November. After this upcoming exchange, Hamas will continue to hold more than 60 hostages, although tens of them are presumed dead. In Tel Aviv, where demonstrators had been asking their government to bring the hostages home, a mix of reactions to the news of the deal.
It's not a joy, it's a bitter relief, but it's going to be a huge relief first of all, whenever I see offer. Secondly, whenever I'm going to see the last hostages crossing the border.
I'm afraid that our government, especially I'm afraid from our government, that they will do something wrong to stop the agreement.
The first 6-week phase will also see 600 truckloads of aid flow into Gaza daily, urgently needed in the enclave suffering from a humanitarian crisis with a lack of clean water, food and medical necessities. Outgoing US President Joe Biden held the agreement and the intense diplomacy under his administration that helped secure it.
This has been a time of real turmoil in the Middle East, but as I prepare to leave office, our friends are strong, our enemies are weak, and there's a genuine opportunities for a new future.
But President-elect Donald Trump has also claimed credit for the truce, which will come into effect just a day before his inauguration, saying it was his involvement in the last stages that pushed the deal through. An assertion that didn't go down too well with the outgoing leader.
Who takes credit for this, Mr. President, you or Trump?
Is that a joke?
Once the reins in the US are handed over to Trump, negotiations over the second phase will begin, expected to include a permanent ceasefire and complete withdrawal of Israeli troops from Gaza. A third phase will then decide the long-term future of the enclave, but as its residents celebrate the temporary end to fighting, there is still much trepidation about the hurdles to come before they can finally put the war behind them. James Lin and Rosie Grenenger for TaiwanPlus.